We all want change. Change is the only constant thing in this earth, but change should come from within. It should come from our hearts. We should be conscious desire for change from within. We cannot change our society overnight. It should be a gradual, continuous process. So we should change our ways, our hearts, and our minds. And when everyone is clamoring for change, there's no stopping us.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching today's episode of Uplift. And I am extremely honored to have with us today the Mayor of San Fernando, Mr.
Fermin Mabulo of San Fernando, Camarines Sur.
Yes.
Thank you, Raymond, for having me on your show. And I'm deeply honored for this opportunity to air my voice on your platform.
Yes. So, Fermin, when I met him, he's the mayor of San Fernando, and I was told by some of my contacts that he is a man of vision and strength, and most importantly, a man of courage. And so when I said I wanted to have him on my podcast, everybody said, yeah, he is a great man to talk to. The reason being is because he had such an amazing passion for change for the Filipinos, especially for the people who he has in his charge. The people of San Fernando, which is a town just north of Naga City. It's a growing community, and most importantly, he has this vision of introducing cash crop here in this area, which I think is very interesting because he wants to model it to something that he finds very beautiful in the United States. And could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there was a time when my wife and I and my daughter went to California in Napa Valley, where we went to see the vineyards and the wineries, and it was beautiful, and was inspired to do the same in Camarines Sur. But here we don't do grapes.
Yeah.
We have coconut, we have rice and corn, and I've seen that there are so much potential for chocolates.
Chocolate.
We grow cacao in Camarines Sur. Way back when I was a child, and my grandmother would pick some fruits from our cacao trees and turn them into delicious chocolate drink we call batirol. So it's a chocolate drink made from the beans of the cacao trees. So I said maybe this can change the landscape of our community if we plant a lot of these cacao trees all over the town and expand it to the whole of Camarines Sur. And if we plant millions of trees, we'll have millions of kilos of produce that we can create into world-class quality fine chocolates. And when we started in 2016, we launched the Cacao Project together with my daughter Luis. It's an initiative that helps farmers to grow trees, and underneath the trees we grow cash crops like okra, talong, pechay, and other fast crops that the farmers can benefit from and have livelihood immediately after, say, months of planting, and while waiting for the trees to grow and to bear fruits in 3 to 5 years. So when we did that, when we started, it was so frustrating because we bought seedlings, 3,000 pieces of seedling, and then we did the training, the orientation to farmers, how to plant, how wide is the hole that you have to dig to plant the tree. It's like 12 inches deep and 12 inches wide. And then we told them about how to use organic fertilizers and organic way of growing crops. And after the training, they went home bringing with them the planting materials, the seedlings. Some brought 50, 100, 200, depending on the size of their lot. And then after a couple of weeks, my agriculture officer went around the town and went to their backyards to see if they really planted the seedlings. Sadly, many of them were left just
in the side.
On the side and left unattended. Some are dying and they did not plant it. So the next month we re-strategized and we did another study and how to approach this problem and how to really convince people to go into cacao farming. So we bought another set of seedlings, about 6,000 for more seedlings.
Wow.
We displayed it at the cover court in front of the stage, and we did another round of the farmer orientations. Another group of 200 farmers were invited. Free food, free snacks, and lunch. And we did the free training. And then again, after the training, they went home. They were asking for the planting materials if they can bring it home. I told them, no, leave it there. Don't bring it home because you might not be able to plant it. Go home to your farms, dig the holes, and we will count how many holes you've dug, and that's when we deliver to you the seedlings and you plant it. And we help you plant it. And 6,000 seedlings were planted after that. And then we bought more. We established our municipal nursery, 30,000 seedlings capacity, and we've done three cycles, and we've asked from the Department of Agriculture more or less about almost 300,000 seedlings have been planted all over San Fernando.
Wow.
Our target is 1 million trees of cacao. It's a long process, but we're getting there slowly because people now are interested because they've seen the first batch that started into cacao farming in 2016. Some are now fruiting. And then we've introduced another program which is the turning the leaves into money. We organize this training to make the cacao leaves into material that they could use for handicrafts, like making lamps and other products that they can sell to the market. And before, the lamp makers would buy the leaves at 8 pesos each. But now they're buying it at 3 pesos each before, but now they're paying 8 pesos because of the huge demand for the handicrafts made of cacao leaves.
Wow.
I think we have to show it so that the people can see it. That's a sample.
We'll get you some samples of it.
Yeah.
So as a visionary, I think that is. Oh, here it is.
This is a sample of the lamp. These are cacao leaves.
Wow. Isn't that
So
beautiful?
It's beautiful and it's useful. You can put it on the side of your bed as a lamp, overnight lamp, and it's nice and lightweight, and you can bring it anywhere. You can bring it abroad.
So tell us your vision. You wanted to try to convert this area into the cacao region of the Philippines.
Yeah,
because
it's
there's nothing like that.
like the Napa Valley in California, or the Hunter Valley in Australia. It's basically agriculture. You plant grapes, you turn it into wine, and sell it as wine. Now we're planting. There's another sample. We're planting cacao. We establish chocolate factories in every community where the tourists would come here, see the orchards, and taste the different flavors and flavor notes of each chocolates that our farmers produce. What we did was we taught the farmers how to refine the chocolates, how to make into imported quality, world-class quality chocolates. We taught them how to do it, and now they're doing it. Unlike in other places where the traders would just buy the beans from them and the traders would make it into chocolates. Here in our community, we taught them how to make the chocolates their own. We provided, in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry, they donated 1 million peso worth of equipment. It's like small machines that could process 5 kilos each batch. Beans that turn it into fine chocolates. So they're doing it now, and they have different brands that they are selling at trade fairs and in our store at the municipal hall. It's called the Negosyo Center. They have products on display there, and they're selling, and they're earning from it, and their life are transformed.
So the Philippines isn't known to be a cacao region at all, right? It has a very strong coffee, which is the Baraka, right? Or how do you say that?
Barako. It's called Barako.
Coffee.
Kapeng Barako.
But it's not as, and that coffee very delicious. But the industry hasn't really refined itself so that it could be one of the premier coffee growing countries in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I think it needs a lot of help. But I love what you're doing here to be able to transform the Bicol region into a cacao growing region, right? That could manufacture the chocolates at import quality.
In the Philippines, we have coffee growing regions like Batangas and northern Luzon, especially the mountain provinces, and Kalinga. I was assigned there as a second lieutenant, and I've seen how massive is, the areas planted with coffee in Kalinga. And sadly, it's not the industry is not taking off because of the traders that would exploit the farmers. And when I was there in Kalinga, people are illiterate. They don't know how to read and write. And we went there and we taught them how to read and write with our Army Literacy Patrol system then in 1995 to 1999. And before, they would harvest their coffee from the wild in the mountains and bring them to the town center and just barter it with the sugar and salt and rice. They're not selling it. They just barter it. And the traders would take advantage of them not knowing the real value of the coffee. So when we went there, we taught them how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, to compute how much the value of their products is. And their life were transformed by that advocacy. That's where my advocacy for education started. And now we're doing it as a mayor now. I value education. That's why we've expanded the program for ALS, or Alternative Learning System. Yesterday, we had more than 200 graduates of high school for our alternative learning.
Congratulations. And a lot of them are already at an older age, right?
Our age. Because in the past, they did not have the opportunity to go to school because of poverty and because of access, because the schools were just located in the town centers, in the barangays. But some people live in the far-flung areas, the coastal communities, the mountain areas. It's difficult for them to go down to the urban center to study. And most of them are being used by the parents for labor in agriculture, so they don't have the chance to study. That now, with the development that we're doing and the initiatives that we're doing for education, we're encouraging them to enroll for the alternative learning. And now they're graduating high schools. They're not qualified to go into college or have a decent work as blue-collar jobs or in call centers. Some of them go to call centers and other works that needs qualification as a high school graduate.
So you're increasing their education. You're also increasing their ability to earn.
Yes.
Right. And you said that's one of your passions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We advocate education so that people could have a sustainable livelihood or income. Like, of course, this program about cacao, we need to educate them about the proper way of growing cacao and how to process the leaves and the beans, the leaves into handicrafts and the beans into fine chocolates.
Wow. So when I spoke with you earlier, you also indicated that you wanted to create some kind of an education program for the ladies, for the women.
Yeah.
Right? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. A lot of women are, not working, but they're not earning the right amount that they should be earning. So we're doing training programs for the women on different opportunities for livelihood. Like the single mothers, especially, they have a tough time, raising children on their own. So they need a lot of help. So that's what we're focusing on, training them for better opportunities on livelihood.
Now, before you became a mayor of San Fernando, you've had an interesting history in which you have traveled abroad, right? And you've also indicated that your love for travel and your love for other cultures around the world had inspired you to see some of those same changes here back home.
Yeah.
Right? Could you tell us a little bit about that history?
Yeah, I worked in the UK for 4 years as a security manager for a food manufacturing company. Interesting story, because I was forced to leave the country to join my wife. She was working as a nurse, and I was forced because I went to jail due to my involvement as an army officer who joined the coup in 2003. So when I left the country, I worked as a security manager in the UK, and I've learned a lot in my 4 years stay in the United Kingdom. So there are a lot of things that's being done in other countries that should be done in our country many years before, but we are not yet late. We still can catch up. One dream that I have that should be done in the Philippines is the improvement of our mass transport system. One measure of a success of a country or a city is that when the poor and the rich alike are using the mass transport system owned by the government. So that's one of the dream that I have, that I'm still pursuing, that it should be done in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And we need the kind of leadership that would push for this change.
And so you were working with the current administration to make sure that that comes true.
Yeah, when we went to Manila together with 11 other mayors, 10 other mayors, I'm the 11th. I brought them to Manila prior to the past 2022 election, and we spoke to the presidential candidate then, now President Bongbong Marcos. And that's one of the things that I asked him, that it should be done in Bicol, the railways, the Philippine National Railway. I told him that, Mr. President, once you get elected, what we're asking for is for you to pursue the rehabilitation of the Philippine National Railways and the construction of the Quezon-Bicol Expressway. So he said, yes, we will do it once we're elected in power. And now I'm happy that they're doing it now. The TR4, or the toll road number 4, which connects from the South Luzon Expressway to, I think, up to San Pablo.
Wow.
Is now, or Lucena, is now underway. And then the TR5 is also in the pipeline from Pagbilao to San Fernando, which will cut the travel time from Manila to Bicol to about 4 hours, or half the existing travel time now.
Earlier, you were talking about your abrupt move
Yeah.
to the UK,
Yeah.
right? And that had to take a lot of courage for you to come back.
Yes. I had to convince my family that I have to come back to the Philippines. They were not happy. It was a lot of struggle, many sleepless nights discussing about the possibility of going home to the Philippines. They don't want to go home because they're happy in the UK. I said I need to go back home to the Philippines because I think I can find my happiness in the Philippines by helping my countrymen, and to use my talents to the betterment of our society in the Philippines. Because in the UK, I was not happy, to be honest. I feel that my talents and my abilities are not being put into use in the positive way that I envision for the future of myself and my family.
And then you also have a big vision for your constituents,
Yes.
as well as, or the constituents you're going to be serving.
Yeah.
Here in the Bicol region,
Yes.
but maybe even on the national level as well, correct?
Yeah, because a lot of things that I see that needs to improve are being hampered or being delayed by the leadership.
Yeah.
For example, if you're a sitting mayor, you see a lot of problems. But if your heart is not into helping, and your heart is not really into the things that you should be doing, you won't be able to do anything. Like, for example, if you're a corrupt leader, you won't be able to achieve anything more than what is expected. Like, for example, when I became a mayor, there was no water system in San Fernando. The people are dependent on their own hand pumps to get water for drinking, for washing, for sanitation. They have to use hand pumps at their backyard. So I've seen a lot of sources of water at the mountains in San Fernando. So what we did was to explore and develop this water system. We invested 28 million pesos from the local savings, local funds. We did not get a loan from any banks to finance a project.
Wow.
So we spent the money to build the cistern, or like this big hall of water impounding at the top of the mountain. And we put up a pipeline from the mountain to the poblacion at 18 kilometers with the 12-inch pipes, blue pipes. So we did that for about a year. And then now we have 2,500 households, more than 2,500 households with their connection of water with water meters. They're now paying a monthly subscription for the water depending on the consumption.
Wow.
And the local government is earning money from it. Last year, we earned 9 million pesos from that water collection. And then with the investment of 28 million, it's been how many years? So we already have a return of investment. The local government is now earning profit from this
Congratulations.
enterprise. And now we're expanding it to other areas because we have 8,000 households, we're only serving 2,500. There's areas where the pipes are not available for them. So once we get the collection and the additional funds for that, we will expand the services to other households that are not yet reached by the services. So this program is life changing for some, because like for example, you're a housewife and you're taking care of your kids. You need to wash their laundry, and you need to clean their plates. You need to wash the plates, and you have to wash dishes, and you need to clean the house. You need water for everything in the house. If you have this water system from the local government, you just
Turn on the
twist the faucet and you'll have water. Whereas before you had to pump for half an hour or more than an hour just to pump the water, or you go to somewhere else to fetch your water. It takes time, and a lot of resources and energy is wasted. But now with the system, with the water system, there's time saved, resources, effort saved, and then
And the water is cleaner up in the mountains
Yes,
than it is probably
yes,
down here in the
yes,
valley, right?
Yes, so clean, and it's potable.
Wow. See, that's a powerful change. I mean, something that you could have, well, your constituents would not have had if you didn't become the mayor.
Yes,
Right.
because the previous mayors, it's not their priority.
Yeah.
So when I came in, I know that it's a priority, and I know there are funds available. So we focused our efforts on this.
Into that.
One thing that I also did in San Fernando is to build roads, lots and lots of roads, new roads for the farms. Before, they used to pay someone, like you harvested your rice in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
You have to transport the rice from the middle of the field to your home for storage. You had to pay 100 pesos per sack to someone who would carry on their back. Imagine
Wow.
the
Totally
damage.
inefficient.
Yes, inefficient, and the health. If your back is injured by lifting those 50 kilogram sack, the damage is irreparable when your spine is injured. So I've seen it, and I think there should be roads built. Now that they have the roads, they only have to pay 5 pesos for the jeepney or the like a tricycle or bike to bring the one sack of rice to their storage facilities or their home. So from 100 pesos or 50 pesos, now it's just 5 pesos. Imagine the
5
savings
pesos.
that they could derive from just transporting the produce. And another thing is when it's the weather is bad and it's
Turns muddy.
and it rains.
Yeah.
And the rice would be soaked in water, and sometimes it rots because it's difficult to transport before. But now that they have the roads, it's easy. In a few minutes, the bags of rice is already stored in your storage area. You save a lot of money and resources with this newly built farm-to-market road.
So did you grow up in this area in San Fernando?
Yes, I grew up in San Fernando. I was born here, and I grew up
Yeah.
here.
And so, as a child back then, I'm sure you saw a lot of poverty, you saw a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
And so, being a mayor, you're now able to take some of the problems that you experienced as a youth and to be able to enhance the lives of your fellow San Fernandans.
Yes.
Right.
One big example is the roads. Before, we used to ride a carabao to bring the produce to the market from the farms. And the mud that we have to go through the trail and the roads is really bad. But with my ascension into power as a mayor, I've seen these problems, and we really solve a lot of problems by fixing the roads all over San Fernando.
So you made a lot of powerful changes here in San Fernando. And I could see that, first of all, I gotta love your vision. I have to love the fact that you explored the world and you saw what works out there and you wanted to bring it here. Sort of like your vision with the cacao
Yes.
right? How you wanted to transform this area, San Fernando, maybe even around this portion of the Bicol, to be a cacao growing region. I
Yes.
think that is so visionary. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a partnership with my
Yeah.
daughter, because my daughter is the founder of the Cacao Project. It's an initiative that helps farmers together with the local government and the national government agencies. It's like connecting these dots and
Yeah.
creating a bigger picture, and that beautiful picture will transform the landscape into something great, something that in the future the next generation will be proud of.
I see this being sort of like the Sonoma Valley for cacao in the Philippines,
Yes.
right? Where you have individual farm owners to be able to create their own cacao product, whether it's dark chocolate, milk chocolate, even wine infused with chocolate,
Yeah.
right? So you see yourself in the future. What do you see yourself doing in order to bring your level of governance, your level of vision, your level of courage? Because you need to be able to come back here took a lot of courage for you,
Yeah,
correct?
I agree. Yeah.
Right, a lot of courage. Not only that you have to embrace, but you also have to impart onto your family because they didn't want to come here, right?
Yeah,
But you knew coming back here, you had a purpose in life.
Yeah, and I have no regrets.
Yeah.
Living my peaceful and beautiful life in the UK, I have no regrets. I hope my family doesn't have any more regrets. But before, they used to have so much regrets. They were all telling me that I made the wrong choice. But now I think they're happy now here.
Oh, I think they are. I mean, especially from what I've seen of his daughter. His daughter is extremely gifted, very smart, highly ambitious. In fact, she's going to be on our podcast right after our podcast.
Yeah,
here with
hopefully
the
she
mayor.
comes back soon, because she got errands to do in Naga now.
Yeah.
She's doing a lot of things for the planet, especially with her role as a young explorer for National Geographic. She is also doing her stuff with the UN, United Nations Environment
Yeah.
Program, because she's been awarded the Young Champion of the Earth.
The fruit don't fall too far from the tree,
As they say. Yeah.
right?
So she's doing a lot of things, and we're happy that she's being able to inspire a lot of people with her advocacy and her work.
Aside from the challenges that you had trying to convince your family to uproot once again
Yes.
from living in the UK to coming back here to the Philippines, I know that was very challenging for you, right? But what other challenges that you had in the pursuit of you being a mayor?
One major challenge for me was getting elected, because I did not have money to run a campaign, but it was all courage and going into something that I know I will be successful, but I don't have the resources back then. As now,
Yeah.
I still don't have that resources to go into a major battle getting elected. But I feel that if nobody will run and aspire for this position, somebody else would take over. Somebody else whose heart is not
In the right place.
in the right place, or in the same vision and passion that we have.
Yeah.
So we need to position ourselves to be in power, so that we can implement the vision and the changes that we want.
What kind of fears did you have running for the mayor?
Well, at that time, there's still the first time I ran, there's still this insurgency problem.
Yeah.
So going around, especially in the mountains, campaigning is risky for me that
Yeah.
time. But I overcome those risks, and I come out alive
Yeah.
and happy.
I mean, to be able to come back here from the UK after you living there for about 4 years, right? That must have been a relatively comfortable life.
Yeah.
Okay. Very modern. You were able to not only live in the UK and travel around London, but you also were able to travel all around Europe and maybe even in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of modern lifestyle is very intriguing, especially for a lot of Filipinos who want to escape the Philippines to be able to live out there. A lot of Filipinos want to live abroad.
Yeah.
Right? But you decided to say, you know what, I've lived here, but I really felt that my heart, my calling, my purpose
My
in life
my inspiration
lives
was
here.
my relatives, my uncles and aunts who have worked in the U.S. and Canada all their life. And when you talk to them, their dream is to be able to retire and come back to the Philippines and live happily ever
That's
after.
very true.
Yeah, why not do it sooner for me then? Why wait until retirement to be able to come back home to the Philippines
Right.
when you can do it now?
Yeah.
So that's my thinking. I need to do it now. I need to do it sooner because these Filipinos who work all their life abroad, they want to retire in the Philippines and they're happy in the Philippines. But at that time, they didn't have any choice but to work abroad to search for greener pasture.
Right.
Now that the Philippines is ripe for opportunities, I think it's time for people like you
Yeah.
who work all your life in the U.S. and now the Philippines is ripe for opportunities for change and better opportunities for livelihood.
Right.
Because the Philippines is the most beautiful place I've ever been. I've been to different countries, different cities. Nothing compares to the Philippines. The Philippines just becomes ugly because of us Filipinos. But if we change our ways, improve our ways of appreciating our stewardship of our country, and I think we'll have a better Philippines. And there will be more opportunities in the Philippines rather than going abroad to work there. There's plenty of opportunities to be created in the Philippines. And once we were able to provide the opportunities for our people, Filipinos won't think of going abroad to work.
I totally agree with that. A lot of people ask me, why did you go to the Philippines? I mean, after me living abroad for like 45, 50 years, why am I coming back to the Philippines? And I said, because the Philippines has a lot of problems. And they said, okay, there's a lot of problems. Then why to come back to a country that has problems? Because you need to have, look at it, the eyes of a visionary. If there are problems, that means there's solutions. If
Yes.
there's solutions, then there's opportunities.
Problems is an opportunity.
There's a problems to be solved. And if you could be that person, you could provide the answers to people's problems, right? Not only do you enhance the livelihoods and the lives of the people who you're working for, but you also enhance your life, correct?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing here.
That's what we're envisioned to do and we're able to do. And we want to expand that, not just in San Fernando, but in a greater capacity. That's why we're positioning ourselves and we're asking for help from like-minded people to be able to have that change that we've been dreaming of, especially in the province, because now our province is the poorest province in the whole Bicol region. If you compare Camarines Sur with other provinces like Sorsogon and Albay, we are way behind in terms of development, in terms of poverty index, and sadly, nothing is moving in terms of the present leadership in the province. So we need to call for a change of leadership so that these things could be solved. Like we are the only province in the country, I think, that does not have a capital.
Yeah.
We don't have a capital. We don't have agriculture officers, provincial medical officer, provincial development officer, tourism officers. It's like the level of governance is gone down. So I don't know what happened. Maybe we elected the wrong leaders. So this coming election, we're calling for a change of leadership.
And I think that your vision of leadership is the right change.
Thank you for that, and it
Yeah.
sort of validates my decision to challenge the present leadership.
And that's where your experience of courage is going to even play out much more in a
Yes.
greater scheme, because running for mayor is one battle.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not easily won, but it is doable. Now you're going to be against a very powerful and entrenched figure.
Yesterday, I was in one of the barangays, and one of the elderly members of the community asked, You know, Mayor, when you run for election, you need a lot of money, especially if you run for governor. I said yes and no. I said yes because to be able to launch a campaign, you need fuel for your cars, you need food for your volunteers. A lot of money is involved, but it doesn't have to be you don't need that much if you're running the campaign the right way, because there are experiences in the past election wherein the moneyed politician lost to someone who doesn't have the money. You look at Camarines Norte, the previous governor, very powerful with a lot of money, but he lost to someone without the money. Same thing in Albay. The former governor was very influential. He has a lot of money. He lost to someone without the money, and people are clamoring for change. And when the people speak, it's the voice. It's a dictum wherein it says the voice of the people is the voice of God. So when God dictates, the people will also follow, and we will be able to elect a leader even without spending that much money.
Wow. Once again, it's going to take a lot of courage.
Yes.
And it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But it seems like you have gone through hell and back in the past.
Yes.
It seems like you have gone through tremendous change. It seems like you have to muster all the courage that you have inside you to be able to say, family, we're going to have to move all our possessions and move back to the Philippines. I know it's our house there maybe is a lot smaller than a house what we have living in the UK, but it's something that has to be done. And that's the same thing in terms of the change of the leadership.
Yeah.
If you feel that has to be done. And the type of courage that you need is at this level is, I don't know, maybe it's about as equal as trying to tell your family that you're gonna have to leave the UK and come back to San Fernando.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I could understand if you say, yeah, we're gonna live in a nice penthouse apartment in BGC, right, where you could live a life of nice and luxury, but we're actually coming back to a small town, right? And we have to find the inner strength in order for us to blossom once again.
Yes.
But from what I've been seeing and hearing about your daughter and yourself here, I see that you have made an amazing contribution to your constituents with your vision, as well as really turning around your life.
Yeah.
Right. And I really look forward to having you on the podcast again very soon to talk about, a little bit more about your vision here moving forward in Camarines Sur.
Yeah, anytime. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah. So do you have any last messages that you want to be able to impart to our viewers and our listeners about what it takes for them to muster the courage to follow their passion?
Yeah. We all want change. Change is the only constant thing in this earth. But change should come from within. It should come from our hearts. We want to change. It should be a conscious desire for change from within. We cannot change our society overnight. It should be a gradual, continuous process. So we should change our ways, our hearts, and our minds. And change should be from within us. And when everyone is clamoring for change, there's no stopping us.
I love that. Thank you very much.
Let's go.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Let's go.
And thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Uplift, and we look forward to having you on our next episode.